This right here is the one thing that you absolutely 100% own. The government can't take it away from you. Media and politics can't take it away from you. A man can't take it away from you. You are 110% capable and the owner of your own mind, and it's time for you to master it. Hi everyone! Out of all the faces that you can see, out of all the places to be, I am so grateful that you're here with me today. I will post the last video. If you watched before this, I was having an absolute meltdown, and I've been having an absolute meltdown the entire night. But today, it feels like a brand new day, and it feels like a brand new year, and I am so happy and grateful to be here. So let's get started. When you love a guy, okay, to their fault, when you love a guy to their fault, you think you are exhibiting some type of trait where you're the ride or die, you're exhibiting some type of theatrical movie play or Shakespearean drama where you'll do anything for him and the love is so deep and the love is so strong. And that honestly sounds really great in theaters and scripts and plays and movies, but it's not exactly how reality plays out, because as much as your life can be a movie, your life is yours. Of course, you're the main character, but you should not love any guy to their fault, and you should not tell a guy how much you love them. And that's going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm not saying don't tell the guy that you love them. Of course not. Tell them your feelings. If they are also showing and reciprocating the same to you, if they're also giving you the world and above, then do that. But just for anybody, take your time. Guys don't have to hear you say, I love you immediately. They don't have to hear you say that you die for them, that you want them, that you would do anything for them. They don't have to hear you say that like women need to hear men say it. We are two completely different, biologically, inherently different people. Males are totally different from women, and women are totally different from men, and that is the reason why women can give birth and give life and men can protect and provide, and that's why we have two different jobs. I've always been brainwashed, and I think I got it from movies because I'm not getting my information from anywhere else. I've always deluded myself into thinking that the more I tell the guy that I love them, the more that I tell someone how much I care for them and how much I would do for them and how much they mean to me, the more that they would understand and see my value and see how important I am and see that I mean something. That's actually not true. That is actually the farthest thing from the truth. As soon as a guy understands how much you love them and how you may even love them more than they love you, that's when there starts to become problems. That's when everything they used to love about you, suddenly they hate about you. That's when they start pulling back. That's when they start acting mean. That's when they start acting rude. That's when they start changing up on you. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Like, it is your fault. You can't control your emotions? If you can't control your emotions, what about you can you control? You probably can't even control your eating, right? That's how it is with me. When I fall in love, when I give myself and everything to any type of relationship, I have a hard time controlling myself. And it's like that for me with my food. Sometimes, and like most of the time, as you can tell, I can't really control my hunger and my desire and my, like, I need to stop now, right? And the same thing with my emotions. I can't control, like, I need to stop now. I don't have that, brain capacity to actually use my brain. So I'm not actually sure why it's there, because I don't remember the last time I used my brain. I used my brain for school. That's about it. But apart from that, I am highly and mostly motivated and progressively data-wise only always in my heart space and in my emotional space, and it makes my life really miserable. Let me tell you, last night I cried my heart out. Like, I just cried and wrenched and squenched my heart out, and to the point where it's hard. It is really hard for me to open my eyes. It's taking every single bit of my emotional capacity and my strength to just open my eyes, to even see well, to see what I'm doing, to drive, to even do the video. And the person that I was crying to and the person that I was crying for, they were checked out. They were checked out at that point, because at some point, when you start becoming so emotional, the other person starts becoming repelled by that. The other person's like, I don't want to deal with all this emotion anymore. That's exactly what I know about this person. That's exactly what they said. It's like, I can't keep dealing with these emotions anymore. I cannot keep being in this emotional state all the time. I need to be strong and I need to get out of this emotion because it wrecks me and I don't have enough emotional or mental capacity for that. And that's what happens. Nobody cares anymore. Only person that should care is you. And that's why you always let the man love you more than you love them. I always try to have, in every one of my relationships, have the other party love me more than I love them. But at some point, when you're giving so much of yourself and your emotions are invested and fully invested, not just pretending or acting, they're going to flip the switch on you. They're going to flip the script on you. So it started off with them chasing for however long and being with you for however long. And then you are indifferent. You don't care. You go your whole time being with them, just not caring and being indifferent. And then something happens where you just switch and they flip the script. They flip the script, and now you are the one who looks deranged. You are the one who looks crazy. You are the one who looks like an emotional wreck, and it's not attractive. Let me tell you something. It's not attractive to be emotional all the time. You use emotions like salt in a meal, okay? I love that. If you put too much salt in a meal, it becomes bitter, it becomes tasteless, and it becomes rancid. It becomes something that is impossible for the human mouth to even consume, okay? If you take that same salt and you put a moderate amount of it in a dish, you put the right amount of it anywhere, it enhances the dish to the point where it's the most amazing meal that you've ever tasted. Emotions are just like that. Use emotions like salt in a meal. Don't overdo it. Don't put too much in it all the time, and put just the right amount at the right times to enhance your meal. Don't be that woman. I'm not going to do any gimmicks in this video. I'm trying these new editing tricks and everything, and I'm like, maybe I should do it in this video. No, I'm not going to do any gimmicks in this video, and I don't even care who's watching and who's not watching. Truly and honestly, truth be told, men only care about your emotions when they like you 10 times more than you like them. And they only care about your emotions when you use it wisely. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo the salt. Don't overdo the spices. Keep it simple. Keep the amount moderate. And don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. I, in my opinion, always used to think that, my emotions were my strongest aspect. I thought they were the strongest part of me, and it's not. It's not. It's not. Emotions are used for a very specific reason, and it's used moderately, and it should be used to get things that you need and want, or to make something happen. Don't be using it willy-nilly, or else you're gonna get hurt, and you're the only person who's gonna get hurt. You're the only person who's gonna get hurt. Most guys, especially if they're broken men, hate dealing with their emotions, hate it. And so the fact that you have to bring them back there all the time, and they have to keep doing it over and over and over again, they start to resent you and they start to hate you. And then you start to hate yourself because then you think there's something wrong with you, which, yes, if you can't control your emotions, that is a personality problem. That is a attitude problem. That is something that makes you look really bad. And it's something that your kids are going to learn from later in life. If you keep doing what you do, there's going to be somebody else who follows you, models after you, who's going to learn all this stuff from you. Oh, she cusses, she won't let it go, she fights, she argues, she yells, she screams, she's crying, she's all ballistic. That's not good for anybody to have. That's not a good energy to even be around. And I realized that. I was like, man, I really attached myself with someone who made me into someone that I'm not even. I don't even recognize my energy anymore. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I don't even know who this person becomes with anger, rage, and acrimony. Acrimony, I told you guys before, is a great movie. It's a movie that should be a lesson. It's not something that you try to be, that you copy off of, or that you aspire to be. All these movies that you watch about the girl leaving everyone and everything for the man isn't actually something that you should do in reality. It's something that is so good for us to watch in a movie because it's entertaining, because it's something that's imaginatory, and we believe that things that are imaginatory are great and spectacular. It's a story that somebody wrote. It is not supposed to be your story. Do not leave everyone and everything for a man unless he is doing the absolute world for you. And even then, a good man would not ask you to leave everyone and everything for him. Another key advice I want to tell you, it's very important, and it's the only thing that the most important thing that you should take away from this video, is that if a man calls you all the time, texts you all the time, let's just say you guys are in a relationship and he calls you every day. He texts you every day. So you pick up the phone every day. Hi, it's so nice. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love you too. Okay. All right, everything's going great. You guys basically have a phone relationship. Which, by the way, red flag. I used to think, wow, that was so cute. We're connecting through the phone. Wow, we have such a deep, meaningful relationship. No. You know who only wants to have a phone relationship? You know who only wants to connect through the phone and have a meaningful, deep relationship through the phone? First of all, nobody ever fell in love with the phone, okay? Nobody ever fell in love with the phone, and if they did, it's something that's going on with them mentally. But fact that they want to have a phone relationship with you, even more so than meeting with you in person and having that face-to-face connection, it's because A, they have, okay, or B, they're broke and they actually can't afford physically, mentally, or financially to be in a face-to-face relationship with you. So it's so much easier for them to be in a phone relationship with you. And of course, why not? What are they losing through the phone? Not money. How much can their phone bill possibly be? Everybody has unlimited talk time now, so it's not like they're even wasting anything there. Very convenient for them because they can do whatever the hell they want while they're talking to you. And they actually don't have to go out of their way to make any effort to actually be there for you. Oh, because if I see her, I'm going to have to get her something. If I see her, I'm going to have lunch with her, have dinner with her, spend some money, do this, do that, actually put some of my emotional, financial energy into this situation. And either I can't afford that, I don't want that, or I really am not that type of person who even wants to invest that much in a woman. And if that's the case, then that's not even a real man, okay? A real man is pleasured by the fact that he can provide for his woman. He's pleasured by the fact that he can give something to his woman. He's pleasured by the fact that he can actually do something, right? He may call you every day and he may text you every day. That does not mean that you respond. That does not mean that you are supposed to respond. That's tough, right? Because if he's calling me, Afrina, if he's texting me, why wouldn't I respond? Like, I'm not calling him. I'm not texting him. Well, why wouldn't I respond? He just wants to hear from me. We're in a relationship. Like, why wouldn't I answer the phone? Why wouldn't I text 24/7? Why wouldn't I be on the phone 24/7? He's calling you and texting you because he wants to see how many times you're going to actually pick up and text back and be there. And when he realizes that you actually do pick up all the time and you are texting all the time and you are there for him 24/7, he actually starts to respect you less. You actually start to go down the Tatum pole. You actually start to lose your value. Oh, she's here all the time. She's not gonna leave me. She's gonna leave me? She's not gonna leave me. Ah, man, nah, she's not a challenge. What the heck? Like, she's there for me all the time. What, she has nothing better to do in her life? She has nothing better to do in her life. She doesn't have a family. She doesn't have a career. She doesn't have school. She doesn't have her own things going on. Why the heck is she there with me all the time? I know I call her. I know I call her and I know I text her, but I don't actually want her to pick up. This is true. This is true. They text you, they call you, doesn't mean they actually want you to pick up, though. In fact, watch how much they even want you and miss you more when you don't pick up, when you don't answer the text. I've been through a situation like this before where I realized when there was somebody who was chasing me for a long duration of time, I ignored their phone calls and I ignored their texts, and they actually stopped trying to reach out to me that way and trying and wanting to meet me in person, because they realized, you know what's actually not going anywhere. What I'm trying to do is something I can't do. Let me try to see if I can meet her at her level. And if they can't meet you at your level, why do you keep eating your own vomit? Why can't you just move on? And that's the same thing with I'm thinking about. It's like, oh, well, I feel like I can't move on because I haven't even seen the world. And that's so true. I have a very set schedule. Just yesterday, last night, oh my God, I came home at like almost 12 o'clock midnight from school. I drove 2.5 hours and I woke up this morning early, took my dad to the neurologist, did all the stuff that I needed to do for my family. And that's what I do. I do what's needed to get done. I do small kind of things like that. I go to school, I come back, I take my road trip, I'm here, I'm at home, and that's about it. And then I go shopping here and there, but nothing really, anything that gets me to be in those places where I meet people. And so of course you're gonna feel that you have to go back to that person. Of course, no matter how much at fault they are, and no matter how awfully, terribly absurd and wrong they are for you, you keep going back to them and you keep telling yourself that you love them and you are going to love them to the fault no matter what, unconditionally. You should never love a man unconditionally, because a man would never unconditionally love you. But you keep going back because you're just eating back your own vomit, because you don't even understand that there's 50 million, 60 million, 70 million, 100 million men out there who are just waiting to have a good woman in their life. And for some reason, I think many of you don't even think or know that you have value, or that you have importance, or that you have the power to literally attract and get anything you want. And I get deluded in this facade too. Because once you get broken down enough, and once you feed into your emotions enough, it starts to consume every area of your life and your body and your mental headspace and everything else. You should never feed your emotions more than you need to. You should never, ever, ever feed your emotions more than you need to. In fact, you should starve your emotions, and you should keep your emotions at bay to a calorie count of maybe 5 to 10. Okay? Use your emotions on maybe your family. Use your emotions on your children. Use your emotions on, your parents who worked their whole lives to provide and give to you. Use emotions in those aspects and in those areas. Do not use your emotions for a man who's not even trying to meet you halfway, figuratively, mentally, and literally. Okay, I have spent many, 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 many years of my youth loving people who never asked to be loved in the first place. I had somebody tell me yesterday, I never asked you to do all this. I never asked you to do that. I never asked you to call me this. I never asked you to think of me this way. I never asked you to love me. That was all you. And so that saying that nobody broke your heart, you broke your own heart, is absolutely 110% valid. You 110% absolutely broke your own heart. And you have to take full responsibility for it. And you have to be strong enough to move on. And you have to turn those emotions off, like on and off switch. Because if you are overtly too emotional, there is no way that you could pretend to not be emotional. But if you are not emotional, you can always go back and forth. You can always act and pretend and go into the realm of being emotional, but not actually. You can always bring it and twist it back. But if you are actually not that person and you don't train yourself to be that person, you will never be even able to act unbothered when you need to act unbothered. A man actually doesn't respond very well when you're overly emotional. He responds well when you pull it back and you react as a man would. Men love mirrors, right? Be that mirror. Don't be there all the time. Don't tell him how much even if you love him more than yourself, don't tell him that. What the hell? He does not need to know that. What are you doing? What are you doing? It doesn't even make any sense. You don't need to say all that. Some of the most beautiful things on this earth don't actually need to have a description. They don't. So, just look at some of the most incredible things around you. They don't have any explanation. They don't. You don't need to put a label on everything, and you don't need to claim everything. Okay? Just let it be. Some things and some of the greatest stories in the world are untold. You don't have to be that person. Okay? Anyways, guys, that's my video. I'm so happy to be back, because here's the thing. When I give myself 110%, and I forget about everything and everyone else, even myself and my dreams and my passions. And I am so happy to be leaving behind things and people that no longer serve me, and actually for the first time in my life do something that I love to do, even if nobody is watching. And so I feel so humbled and so grateful that you spent the last 23 minutes with me, and I hope this helps you, and I hope you heed my warning and use me as a cautionary tale that you are only hurting yourself when you are too overly emotional, and only you have the power to control it. He cannot control you. No one else can control you. You control you. You are the ruler and the controller and the game player of this right here. I don't care what your religion tells you. I don't care what culture you're from. I don't care what your parents tell you. I don't even care what degree you have, what you feel like you have to do, and your finances that you have. All of that is weather. All of that is outside noise. Please start reading books and start making yourself less ignorant, so that when people come to you with their horseradish, you can very kindly notice that, decline, move on, or choose to use them how you may, move on, and do better. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance does not help you when you're trying to win a game, though. Okay? You are trying to win this game called life, and you are trying to get the most out of it. Don't be ignorant. Learn the rules. Everything you have is in your hands. Everything you have is out there. Educate yourself. Put as much as you can inside here. Learn about people. Learn about human nature. And come back stronger, and come back with full flight energy. Okay? Because only when you move on does he come back. That's not why you should move on. Move on for yourself, because you do matter more than anyone else. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.